Welcome back to Saluki Basketball with Bruce Weber. Coach, I think that Saluki basketball fans are truly blessed to listen to games on the radio with Mike Reis. I think he's one of the best I've ever heard at calling a basketball game.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I've only had a chance. I don't listen during our games, but I've listened to him do the football games, and he does an excellent job. And I've been at the Big Ten level, and he's definitely one of the best play-by-plays that I've heard.
Okay. We had a chance to send our Ricky Thine to the game yesterday to see Mike Reis at work. So here's Ricky with more on the mic, behind the mic.
With the ball, it is Collum. Collum splits two, throws to Tennell, up from 12. Chris nails it. Nice play.
This is my 20th year doing the games, and so really it's the only job I've ever had. I had it right out of college, right when I graduated. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do, Rick. It clearly is. I mean, from I would say maybe my sophomore year of high school, I wanted to do it. And I was living in Cleveland at the time, and I would go to Cleveland Indians games, and occasionally I would take a radio. But quite often I wouldn't, and I'd look in the press box and I'd see the guys doing games, and I said, man, I'd really like to do that, and I think I could do that.
And John Andreas Stoller pushes ahead to Jenkins. He goes one-on-one with McDaniel, cooked it home. Oh, Monte crammed it with McDaniel right on his tail.
I've heard from numerous people often, why are you still here? I like it here, and as I mentioned earlier, it's an opportunity to just do sports. Certainly at 42 now, I'm not going to play the game and go somewhere and bet on something to happen in the future. The time to do that was at 21 or 22.
Here's Ruffin from Harrington, wrap around to Kurtz in the lane, up and down.
I think I like baseball the most. I think it's the sport I know the most about. Others might disagree. I think basketball, however, is my best sport.
Southern can increase the one-point lead. On the right side, Marcaccini sets for a three. Book it.
I think if you listen to the people who are the best, whether it's television or radio play-by-play, those people who you consider the best probably have a pretty good command of the language. Well, how do you get that command of the language? You don't always get it by talking all the time. You better be able to write. I tape every game, and I listen to at least some of it, and sometimes listen to all of it. I want to make sure I don't get full of myself. And I think if you don't listen to yourself, then what you're saying is, I'm as good as I'm ever going to be, and I'm pretty darn good. Well, I don't think that.
Left of the circle, Marcaccini to the free throw line, back to Jenkins, steps to 18 and fires it in.
And I've been particularly lucky. I mean, to be 21 years old as I was and coming out of college and getting a Division I play-by-play gig was very rare. And to be able to hold on to it is something I'm pretty proud of.
He got another steal. Joshua to the other end, leaves for Jenkins to the goal, layup, got it. And Cross's defense is big time tonight.
I want to do this as long as I'm having fun with it, and I'm having fun right now. There is a passion. There's always a stretch where there is some drudgery, but who doesn't have that in any job? And I don't. I mean, look at look what I'm paid to do.
Yeah, I think that Mike Reis and myself have two of the best jobs in television. We get to talk about sports. We get to tell other people what's happened in ball games. Mike gets to tell them as it's going on. I get to tell them afterwards. But I think Mike Reis just does a fantastic job.
Oh, he does. There's no doubt about it. He loves his job, as he talked about, and that's important. And it's kind of his hobby. It's like me. I love coaching. I love working with people. And if you're that lucky to get that opportunity, enjoy it. What the heck? Like he said, people, every job is hard, and there's times you got to, push yourself to get up in the morning and do it. But when you love it and it's part of your life, it makes it enjoyable.
I tell you what, some of the jobs that we have to do in our careers, it's hard to call them jobs because, they are so enjoyable. But I tell you what, it's been a pleasure listening to him over the years on the radio. And we have a lot more coming up on the Saluki basketball. We have a tip coming up for you players out there. Coach Weber will give us a little insight on how you might be able to better your game, so stick around.
Eric, tell me, we're lifting Saluki basketball to a new level. Stick around, we'll be right back.